All right, now for the details. So I will draw from the 1, 2, 3 third head down a line here, and that's where our belly button will be. And then 1, 2 heads down, I'll draw a line here, and that's where the nipples will be. And you want the nipples to be equidistant from that meridian point, same way we did with the knees. And then you can start drawing circles to give out the shape for the breasts and how big you want them to be, or how small, or how far apart. And then start kind of shading underneath. You wouldn't shade the top quite as much because of the way that the muscle hangs to the skin. Obviously, there's more weight and more roundness down here than there is up top, like a teardrop. Okay, so you're just going to shade under the breasts. Okay, then I like to carve out where the rib cage would be, and that's just a line, a diagonal line connecting the breast area to the top of the tummy area where your hips are starting. And that's where your little belly button is. That's a pretty high belly button. Maybe your belly button's a little bit lower, but typically that's about how high it is. And then the crotchal region is down here. If that were a bikini, it would cover that whole area. And then you have your knees down here. I like to draw knees as just basically an equal sign. But I add a little bit of a dome on top of it and a little bit of a beard on the bottom of it. Dome, beard. Little mountain, little beard. That's obviously a little bit more exaggerated than you might want to go. Try pressing a little lightly when you do that part. Okay, and then I connect the circle up here with the hips, or with the upper thigh, and that kind of creates these hips. I realize that that's kind of fucking with my thumb, but yeah. You don't need to worry about that right now. We don't need to worry about that right now. I'm just getting down the basic shapes. Okay, and then there's a little bit of bulbousness to that knee. So you can draw some little parentheses to connect it. And then for the feet, I rarely go into like too much detail, trying to get every little toe. Oh boy, sorry about that. I'm not trying to get every little toe in there necessarily. Kind of just try to make sure that that big toe has a line right there. And then I might make some light lines gesturing to the other toes. But obviously I work with crayons, so it's not going to look that good. Okay. And then for the face, I basically have my female body right here. I'll extend the head a little bit higher with some hair. Just do the top part. Then I go back to my basics of drawing a face, right? You have this meridian line, and then halfway is where you draw your big sockets for your eyes, your little circle for your nose just below that, and the little circle for the mouth, or flattened circle or lips just below that. I'll draw it with the black crayon so it's a little bit clearer. Okay, and then I just draw basically, because we're not going into a terrific amount of detail, we can't really see that much. Then I just draw a little bit of shadow in a line for the nose, and a little bit of shadow in the line for the mouth, and a little bit of shadow for the eyes, Maybe give it some shadowing, lighter shadowing on top for the spot between your eyelid and your eyebrow. And then maybe if I'm ambitious, I'll do a little eyebrow too. And then you can decide how much detail you want to do, how much shading, but you basically just want to get a clear definition of where these facial features fall, right? You don't want to be doing the silly thing that we used to do where we put the eyes way the hell up there and the mouth is way too wide and the nose is 2 little dots. And then, so this is a very gestural face. If you're getting into figure studies where you're taking like hours to work on it, then you'll be able to do a little bit more. But for today's intents and purposes, I would say stick to this simpler model. Okay, then we can bring the hairline down slightly, and you can do whatever you want with the hair. Maybe you want to give her some nice shaggy hair or big curly hair or keep it cropped, whatever. But you'll notice here the difference between like the way hair changes the proportions of the body, right? Like her head, ooh, hold on, I'm not happy with that neck. Her head seems small compared to the body when she doesn't have very much hair. Hers seems a little bit more proportional when she does. It just changes things. It's just a perspective thing. All right, and then we'll do a male body next.